Thank you. Good. Just if you hear any noise in the background, so my studio is being finished at the moment, so there might be a little bit of noise, but hopefully it should be okay.
It's okay. You said that before. Firstly, I want to thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Sure. Thank you for asking me. Yeah, it's quite unusual to have literally just immediately just go into the interview, but I think it's quite good because you're going to get a more candid response. So it's good.
So I saw your ads. You look you are an artist, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm an artist. I'm based in the UK, in a town called Bristol. Yeah, and I specialise in kind of animal artistry and kind of the natural world, painting and drawing. So yeah, that's my profession.
Yeah, I saw. Your ads are very realistic and it has so much. It's a good meaning. Every art of yours is very beautiful.
Thank you very much. That's really kind of you. Thank you. It's really incredible what you're doing as well. Like I had a quick scan across your page when you said, "Do you want to do a video?" Because it's always good to see what that means. There we go. There's the drilling. And yeah, what inspired you to start doing this and to start speaking to people around the world? How did that start?
I have creative thoughts like you have, so I wanted to talk with different human beings who are living in different parts of the world and who are into different professions. So I want to know what exactly they think and what they do, and uh, I want to know what they are doing, something that I'm not doing, that I cannot do. So
That's
I
really
want to.
interesting. So what are you currently doing? Are you a student? Are you working? What's your background? What are you up to?
I did. I've completed my masters in software engineering, and
Amazing.
yeah, and I'm a trainee. I'm a cloud engineer. I'm preparing for cloud engineer and cloud architect position. Presently, I'm in training. I have exam day after tomorrow. So yeah,
Good
I'm.
luck with that.
Yeah. So what do you do? What you are?
So I work obviously as kind of an artist, and with that, I've developed my craft, my skill over the years. So I started off quite small, on markets, and I was doing like smaller illustrations, but I've painted in a fine art way for years since I was about 14, 15, and I went back to it. It was kind of the confidence, to pin my colours on the mast and say, I am an artist and I want to take my profession to the next level and to really build my career, um, further than what I was doing at the time. So, yeah, the last 3, 4 years, I've been growing. I've got some exhibitions this year in the UK. Obviously, because of coronavirus, everything got cancelled. So everything's now rebooked in, which is exciting. And I'm currently working on a body of work for that called Strange and Beautiful, which, yeah, I'm excited to release. It should be good. So yeah, just working. Studio is being built at the moment, which will be really good to have that separation from home and work rather than it always being there. So I'm excited for that. And also excited for summer to come and have some longer evenings, a bit better weather because it is classically UK right now, grey and miserable. Though it doesn't look that hot where you are actually. So yeah.
So you are into art.
Yes, yeah, I'm into art. It's been a passion of mine for years. My grandmother is an artist. She's really, really good. So it's in my family. Really into art. I'm really into nature. I've got actually my best friend here, Dodie. Hello. She's being grumpy.
Wow.
So she goes everywhere with me. Um, and yeah, I think there are such like good properties for your mental health, your mental well-being about being out in nature, and and also like the natural world is just crazy beautiful and unbelievable. So to be able to capture that and try and do it some justice in my work is what I'm always striving for. I'm always striving to get better. Each piece I do,
Okay.
it's like I want to do the next piece. I want it to be better and bigger. So yeah,
Okay.
constantly pushing.
Okay. You make money with your art?
Yeah, I sell it. So I've got a website and sell through there, and also directly with commissions and so on. So yeah, it's not a hobby, it's a profession, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is challenging. And to be fair, over lockdown, it's been quite interesting. I think people are spending more time in their homes, so people have been buying more artwork because it's like if you're at home all the time, you're looking on your walls. Yeah, I do. I also have a part-time office job as well, which for me works really nicely because it means I just have to separate my time, and it makes me work more productively because I have that stability of a set income, and then I
Okay.
have it's this not enough, so the rest of it's kind of topped up with my art,
Okay.
but it just gives me more freedom. I was full time without an office like any other support, and it gave me really bad burnout and mental health issues because it was just too much pressure. It was too
Okay.
much to constantly have to, yeah, constantly be like you're, I don't know, in charge of everything. So it's a good balance for me. It works well.
Okay. So you studied about art?
So I studied when I was younger. Yeah, I studied up to 18. I actually did English literature at university. So I've got a degree in English literature. And it's funny, there's actually a huge amount of creativity in English as well. So there's a lot of artistic references and in poetry and in general kind of fictional literature. They cross over quite nicely. And in some of my work I'm actually doing at the moment, there are some references to English. So it's in English literature, the subject. So it's quite, yeah, it's quite funny how things come full circle with what you do, what you learn, what influences you have over your years. I'm 30 years old now, and there are so many different aspects of my life and my kind of, learning, which I'm putting into my work, which is, I think, hopefully going to make it more exciting. So yeah, it's good.
So you studied literature and you are into art. What is this? Which is completely different.
No, they're not different at all. No, I mean they're both completely creative. So what do you study? Software engineering. Is that right?
I yeah,
Do you
I
study
didn't.
software engineering?
Yeah, I'm an engineer. Yeah.
So I think like, yeah, I don't know if you've ever kind of studied literature or like the creativity of literature and fiction, but it's really, really creative. And I would argue that, yeah, the same, well, it's always been the thing, hasn't it? Poets, artists, musicians, it's all exactly the same category. So yeah, it's not different at all to me, really. Um, it's a really similar genre.
So how many arts? I mean, how many drawings, yeah, that you did till today?
I honestly don't know, because I don't show all of my work. So I show some of it, like the stuff I'm happy with. A lot of it I'm not happy with. I'm really, really self-critical, which I think is good to be. So I don't know, maybe 300, 500 paintings, but some of
Wow.
them are but some of them are really small, and then
Okay.
others are bigger. So yeah, but I've a lot of my art is in a lot of people's homes, which is actually a really cool feeling. But like, yeah, over the years, it's quite interesting.
So where this imagination is coming from?
Again, like I think the inspiration that's around me, like I'm very into walking, like I'm very into going out with my dog. She's a big driver, and I like to view the world differently. So I like to, like some of my work currently has got environmental issues in it, and there are huge issues obviously with plastic. There are huge issues with our seas being polluted, people abusing the environment, and so some of my work, the upcoming pieces have got those themes behind them, as well as being beautiful. They also have a contextual meaning. So what I'm moving into now is, yes, I want it to look good on your wall, but I also want it to have like heart and soul behind it, if that makes sense. And there's like a
Yeah.
purpose for it. Um, so yeah, I think trying to tell a story and trying to get more of a message across through my work and through my medium, that's the whole focus really behind Strange and Beautiful, my new series.
So who connects with your imagination?
Who connects with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully everybody. I'm not sure. Who connects with it? I mean, I don't think I totally understand that. Sorry. What do you mean by that?
The imagination that you have, who will have that kind of imagination? The people who lives in a particular part of the world, or
Oh,
any
okay.
any person who lives in any part and who works in different professions can connect.
Got you. Thank you. Sorry, I get you now. I think yeah, that's a really interesting question. I guess we're all a product of our environment, right? So you will view the world from the way where you are and your experiences. I will view the world from where I am. So I'm in the UK. We're really super privileged, really, to be in a position where we can think about, environmental factors and so on, and have that as like a forefront thought, because actually that's quite a big privilege to be able to think in that way, and that be something that affects you rather than just having to get food on the table or whatever it might be. So yeah, I guess I am a product of my environment. I suppose arguably as well from that side of things, it would probably be more people with like a environmental leaning, or also I guess a kind of disposable time and income to think about artwork and to think about that side of things. So that again is a privilege. Yeah, I think probably more situationally the people around me. That's a really, really good point though, because where you come from in the world, like what's your impression going to be of something and how would that be received? I think, the messaging isn't that complicated. I think anyone could understand it, but I think it's whether you care about it and relate to it, I guess, because you might be like, yeah, I understand it, but and what? Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that.
So what makes you to draw?
Sorry, the drilling was really bad. Can you say that again?
What makes you to draw a particular thing? Will you see a particular thing in the nature and just put it in your mind and draw in the same way it was, or you just add your own things into it?
Yeah, I always. I'm so sorry. It's really loud. I always change what I see, so I'll have a reference of what I'm looking at, but then I'll put my own twist on it. So it'll be an artist's interpretation of the piece and also what I'm trying to get across. Sorry, that's a really like convoluted answer. Yes, I get inspired by something. Yes, I paint it, but I don't just do an exact copy. I like add my own flair and twist, my own style to it.
Okay, so when you started it, when you came to know that you are very good in this particular thing, and when you wanted to start it, really,
Yeah. How did I start?
yeah, when?
When? So I started 4 years ago, and I started on a really, really small scale. So I was like I'm in Bristol, I think I said that, and there's a local market. So I just did some really small like sketch illustrations. So like that's a whole other market, the kind of um small business indie sketch type makers gonna make movement. Um and then I developed it because I was like, I do enjoy this, but actually I want to be painting bigger. I want to be painting more. I want to go down the fine art route, which is what I'd always previously done. But I didn't have the confidence to do that first of all. So then I just started painting and started getting into exhibitions, started getting commissions, started getting Instagram was really helpful. You obviously use Instagram a lot and use social media. I don't know about you, but I find Instagram now can be a bit difficult. It's quite busy. There's like a lot of people on it. So the algorithm, which everyone hates, can make things a bit difficult to get your work found. But yeah, I find it really useful for contacting people and like quick communication, like this, for example. This is a super quick communication, all because of Instagram. So I think that's a really powerful tool. But I think it's how you use it, and also not to rely on it too much. Like if a lot of my kind of business referrals do come from Instagram, but I'm also super conscious that like, what if one day Instagram was to explode? What would happen then? What would I do? So yeah, trying not to rely on it too heavily.
So, uh, so what is the difference between the art that is already there and the art that you are creating?
Yeah, good point. I suppose so. What would I say my specialisms are? Use of color. So I think use of color and texture. I mean, I would say to anyone watching this, go and check out my profile if you want to see. But yeah, use of color, texture. I also really enjoy playing with this kind of idea of like super fine art, and then I just mash it up with a piece of charcoal. So it's like it's been quite detailed, it's been quite fine, and I'm just like, and just give it some real energy and life and go over it. I like that contrast between like I'd say like this is super technical scribble, and then like a strong like kind of paint. Because for me personally, when I paint like that, I find it quite flat and I find it quite boring. So I take paint, or I take a piece of charcoal and I just literally just do an outline, go over, find the areas of movement and energy inside the work, and then I really really push them. But yeah, it's hard to explain. It's a good thing probably I should be able to explain better. Um, but yeah, go and have a look at my profile if you want to see more.
Can you draw my image?
Can I what?
Can you draw
Remind
my
me of the.
image?
Can
Yeah.
I draw you? Can I draw you? I'd give it a go. I could have a go at
Okay. You can draw
it.
anything that you see with your eyes.
Like yeah, but I have to be inspired by it. So people aren't really my thing, to be completely honest. I used to paint people. I used to paint huge portraiture when I was 15 to 17. I used to like just paint people, and
Okay.
then yeah, I moved on from that. I might come back to it one day, but at the moment I'm still exploring the fairer creatures of this world who are not people in my opinion. They're animals. I think animals are far better than people generally.
Have you painted your own image?
I have, yeah, I have. Yeah, long when I was 16, so it probably looks a lot different now.
And any people who are around you, have you drawn?
I painted my dad for his 60th birthday. It was 60th. So I painted him when he was 60. Um, actually wasn't too bad. You look quite like him. But yeah, no, generally I don't draw or paint people. Sorry, here we go. The drilling. Yeah, generally not people, generally animals or. But maybe people again one day. You never know. I think always in your career as an artist, you should never limit yourself and be like, this is all that I do. Because like it's anything in life, like, right? If you just say like, for you, for example, if you're like, this is all I'm going to do forever, then it's like, but what if there was something else that came along and you could, do that? Like you're super creative, you get it. There are so many different areas you can go down.
How you look at it? You saw a particular thing and you want to draw it, and what is the first thought that comes into your mind?
Um, Generally, I think it's what size would I want to do this? What impact do I want to create with it? So, like, what do I want it to feel like in terms of when you look at it? Is it going to be a massive looming piece? Is it going to be on small scale? And where's the context? For me, it's the idea of how that fits together. So, for example, I'm doing a Cayman at the moment who had butterflies on. On Instagram, there's a butterfly crown filter. So it's like that kind of mix between Instagram and the natural world. So it's like the natural world did it first, and then Instagram stole the idea and the concept, and that's the whole idea behind that kind of mix between nature and social media. So in that context, it's the context came to me first, and then I was like, right, I've got to paint this. I've got to do it. So generally, the idea. I get inspired by an image, then I have the idea, and then I create the kind of sizing. So yeah, in that sort of order.
You paint by seeing the image or without seeing the image?
So I have a reference of it. Yeah, I don't do it completely blind. Sometimes I do, but I prefer to work from a reference photo. And even better if I've taken it myself. Much better if you take them yourself.
So, can you draw without opening your eyes?
No, because I'm not blind.
Okay. So, what is the best thing that you have painted in your life?
I'm really well known for this bear that I did called the Bristol Bear. So that was my first piece where I became quite well known around my local area. And I also painted the kingfisher, which people like. But yeah, I don't know. I think, as I said, I finish a piece and I'm on to my next piece. I always want to push onto the next. So I'd say my best piece I've ever painted is the one I'm next painting. That's how I feel about my work.
So you're saying, yeah, I'm an engineer, also engineer is a creative thinker,
Yeah.
he thinks something, he wants to create something which is not existed before.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
You're an innovator.
Yeah, innovator, creating something which is not existing, right? So you are more into that. That is your profession. Well, the art is something like you're showing it. But in engineering, there is no such thing that showing.
Yeah, you're
This
just
here,
completely creating
yeah,
everything. That's
yeah.
amazing. You're incredibly talented. That's so cool.
You show it to, right? You show to people, and people will see your art. And before that, before you painted that particular thing, there it was not there before. But
Yeah.
when you put it on a paper, and when you show them, that they are seeing for the first time, right?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully it's not been done before. But yeah, there's an argument that everything's been painted before. But yes, technically you're right. Yeah.
Right. So, what is your feeling when you put it out and when people say something about it?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's like the whole nature of social media, isn't it? It's like very nice to receive compliments. I think for me, I document my journey on Instagram. I use it as obviously a marketing tool, but I document it for me as well personally to see how far I've come and kind of to keep like a general record of what I'm doing and like my development and what's happening. So yeah, it's lovely when people are kind about it. It's really, really great. But I don't just do it for the likes. Do you know what I mean? That's not what it's about for me. I'm doing it because it's like basically it's like a portfolio. It's like an active live portfolio. Um, just like I guess a more informal one. So if a gallery or whatever is looking at your work, they can just have a flick through your Instagram and they can very quickly see whether you're right or not. Rather than in the olden days, I say the olden days, God, that sounds so bad. I don't mean the olden days, probably like 2 years ago. You'd have to submit a portfolio and they'd look through it. So it's just changed a bit really, and like the way process is done.
How much time you take to paint something?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It really, really varies. Some work is super quick and other work takes longer. I couldn't give you an average. It depends on size. It depends on, to be honest, motivation for the piece. I would say, I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Minimum 2 hours. Minimum two
Minimum
hours.
2 hours.
But
Gotcha.
and that's
Okay.
for a small thing.
So what is maximum?
Maximum can be years. I've got something that I still look at and I'm like, it's not finished. I don't think I will ever finish it. Sometimes I'll have a bit and I'll be like, right, come on, we're gonna do this today. It's gonna get finished. And I leave it. I look at it 2 days later, I'm like, oh, it's still not there. So I think sometimes you can keep working on something forever and it's just never right. Because it needs to feel right. I'm sorry. It needs to feel right before it's finished. So yeah.
You
It's a
paint your
sliding scale.
dreams?
Do I paint my dreams? That's really interesting. So I used to have quite a lot of lucid dreams when I was younger. And there's one lucid dream that I remember when I was at university. And part of it was actually, this is a sneak peek into what I'll be doing. So part of it was there was a water fountain, and they turned into elephants, and the elephants had their trunks up and they were spraying water. But then when the water fell down, it turned into flowers. So I'm actually going to be painting that. It's coming up because that was something that, well, God, how old was I then? 19. So 11 years ago. And that was from a dream. So yeah, occasionally my dreams do come into it. And
Wow.
that will have no reference photo because it's just made up in my mind.
You see, will you see the visuals of India, the the cultures and the religions in India?
Yeah, I think India is such an interesting place. It's so fascinating. I mean, the colours, the amazing bright colours everywhere are just incredible. And obviously you've got the elephants, you've got the wildlife, and you've got the culture, different cultures. I've actually never been to India. Um, if I was to go to India, where would you recommend I would go?
To come to my city, Hyderabad, South India.
Hyderabad. Is that near Goa?
No, it's Goa is in North India. Goa
Oh,
is north,
okay.
and me lives in South India.
Oh, okay. Is it good there? It's a nice city.
Yeah, it is the best city. It's top second city in the country.
It's what, sorry?
Top second city. Uh,
Is it
you know,
really? Hyderabad.
yeah,
I've heard of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Here you can see multicultural people and people who talks a different languages, and you see different kinds of foods here. It's a fantastic place there. The climate condition is also very good for uh, most of the country people and most of the state people who comes from anywhere. It's very good. Not
Oh,
extreme
amazing.
cold or not extreme hot.
Yeah, so not kind of crazy like the heat. Yeah, because I always think that. Okay, Hyderabad. Well, that's on my list of places to visit then.
You have to, because the food, the biryani, the best food here is biryani, Hyderabadi biryani. You have to,
Biryani. Is
yeah,
it biryani? Yeah,
yeah,
I've had biryani in the UK, but I think it'll be a lot better where you are.
yeah. It's spicy.
Yeah. Good. I like spicy food.
You have to taste here, and the sweets are very good. You have a lot of actually. As an artist, you will find a lot of like you said, there are a lot of colors and there are a lot of different things that you can see with your eyes, and you can take the pictures and you can paint it, because
Yeah,
you will have a lot of information here. You have to come one day.
I will come one day. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. So you are very close to the nature, right?
Yeah, super close. So there's a walk I go on, which is like 10 minutes from the house, and it's through woods. It's got a river. Really, really lucky. And then we're near Wales, we're near Devon, we're near the seaside as well. So yeah, it's like a good mixture of places to be. And yeah, nature always is part of it. I find it very relaxing.
So what is the exact place where you live?
So I live in a place called Bristol,
Okay.
and it's that southwest of the UK, so it's kind of towards the coast. Yeah, Bristol is such a cool city. I think wherever you live there, you always think it's the best, don't you? So, um, but yeah, really, really cool city, really creative. There's like a massive street art um, festival here called Upfest, and yeah, creative, like the creative scene in Bristol is really, really strong. There's a lot of like independent shops and support locals, so it's quite an eclectic bohemian place to live, and I feel very lucky to live here.
So at last, what is art to you?
What is art to me? Art to me is it's frustrated meditation, I would say. So like a frustrating meditation. When I'm painting, like I go into a completely different zone. I think people say it's like when you're coding, people have like a coding brain they go into. When I'm doing my art, because obviously your brain is split into two sides and it's just using that muscle. So it's really, really focusing in. And yeah, just I go into like a completely different space. People always say, is it relaxing? I'm like, I don't know if I'd say it's relaxing. It's like a workout for my brain. But it's also, it releases like a huge amount of endorphins. Yeah, it's like, I feel very privileged to be able to do it and to make money from it, because it's something I truly love and it truly gives me so much happiness, and feeling of accomplishment. So yeah, I feel very lucky.
I'll put your website link in the description of this video. People finds our video will find your ads and they will see the ads and they can buy it, right?
Thank you. Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time in doing this. I think it's absolutely phenomenal what you're doing. I had a brief scan through of some of the people you've spoken to. What a mixture! Like, what a variant of people. So it's amazing. And best of luck with your exam in a couple of days. Get studying. You'll smash it. Have a coffee.
Yeah. So at last, have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I watched a few of them before. I didn't have very long, to be fair, to have a look at anything before we had our conversation. But I watched a few, and again, yeah, I mean, the variety of people you've spoken to is really impressive. Um, I think so. You're trying basically to get different aspects of different kind of mindsets of people from all around the world, right? In different professions, different attitudes, and what they're about. Um, I almost thought of you as like, I called you like in my head almost like the collector. So you're always like collecting different people and then you're encapsulating them forever. It's really, really cool. And I don't know anyone else doing it, actually. I haven't seen anyone else doing it. So again, you've created an idea that no one else has thought of, which is really, really cool.
So you created 500 ads
Oh, at
till
least,
today.
yeah, at least. Some of them are really small though. Like, they're not all massive paintings, but like drawings and painting, yeah.
I want it to become 5 lakhs or 5 crores in coming days.
The what, sorry?
500,000 or 500. I want you to
500,000.
increase. I want
Oh,
you to increase the
you want me
number.
to do more?
Yeah.
I'll work on it. I'll try. I need to. I need to get my arse into gear. I've got a lot of stuff coming up this summer, so yeah, I need to get going.
Yeah, and remember that I said, Sai
I
said
will.
from India. Yeah,
I will. I will
yeah,
put. I'll put on my right. Sai has said I need to get working, so I'm going to be in the studio all the time. I'll think about that.
yeah. So
Thank you very
really,
much.
what you are doing is really creative, and it actually inspires a lot of people. You're not doing same as it is. You're putting different stuff every time, which is actually when it draws the attention of the regular thinker who thinks in the same way. You are drawing the attention. You are telling the world that you don't need to think in the same way all the time. You have to think differently. You are telling that with your gallery. So so I want you to increase the products in your gallery so that people like me, or there are a lot of people in the world like me, will inspire by seeing you, and you can make them to do something that they are not doing by projecting your art in the public.
Thank you very much. I'll think about that more. Thank you. That's a great thing to hear.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
can I?
And you, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah. Go on.
No, no. I was just gonna say, with what you're doing with, engineering software and creating new things, instruments, machinery that people have never heard of and never used, that's the same thing. You have to think differently, right? It's literally your job. If you thought the same way, then things have already been thought of. So basically right back at you, but in a different way, but the same way, if you get me.
Yeah. It is mandatory for engineers to think different.
Yeah, it's good. It's really
Yeah.
good.
And you
I
too.
think this shows. Yeah, I mean, you have to. I think you like it depends on what kind of art you want to do, right? Like sometimes if you want to do like, yeah, I think, I don't know. Yes, I think for me personally it's really important. But again, with your YouTube channel and everything that you're doing, it shows that you think differently, which is fantastic.
So I have another channel too where I'll take interviews of tech people who are into. There
Okay.
are there are different tech uh, uh, in IT only. There are a lot of fields. So I'm doing in that also. So to get this diverse uh, minds, understanding what is there in the minds of different people, like how you see. what is there in different parts of the world. You see that and you put it on a paper and you
Yeah,
try to recreate with your skills, right? So I'm doing the
yeah.
same.
That's amazing. That's really, really cool. That's impressive. It must take. Does it take a lot of time?
Not much. It
No.
takes it takes like half a day, not like 25% in a day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's amazing. You keep on doing it. I'm following you, so I'll keep on watching what you put out there.
Me too. I'll follow you. Can I put this audio and video clip on my YouTube channel, on social media, on internet, on my podcast, everywhere with your permission?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got my permission to share it wherever. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so much. Have a
Sophie.
lovely day and good luck with your exams. Bye,
Yeah.
Sai.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.